So, as scientists, we use the scientific method to study psychological phenomena. The scientific method is a toolbox of skills designed to counter our tendency to fool ourselves. These are rules that dictate the general procedure for research. And as a way to overview the scientific method, we're going to go through each one of these components of the scientific method in order. Starting with identifying the problem and doing some research. So how do you come up with a question? Research questions usually start with observations of human behavior. And these observations can be really informal. I know a lot of research that has been proposed and conducted based literally on observations, like people watching, observations of how people behave in the world. Once you have made an observation, you want to then see what sources of information are already out there. So you've got your question, you need to do some research. What do we already know on the topic? And these days our options are really expansive. I'm going to start with talking to other researchers because I think this is a really valuable tool for understanding what researchers are up to. This could be a chat in the hallway with a colleague, it could be attending a conference, going to a lab meeting, knocking on your colleague's door, but just chatting with other researchers to see what's already been published, because people are easier to talk to than databases. And this is also why I like to use popular media a lot. One of my favorite publications is Scientific American Mind, and it actually covers a lot of cognition and neuroscience. And so I might read about primary research first in Scientific American Mind, or maybe The Guardian or some other popular media, and then then I can go find the original article. How many of you have heard from teachers, don't use Wikipedia? I love Wikipedia, and I'm going to say use Wikipedia. Now, you can't cite Wikipedia. It's not appropriate as a source, but it's a great source for identifying primary research that's really good. When you go to a Wikipedia page, particularly Wikipedia pages for psychological research concepts, when you scroll down to the bottom, you're going to get a series of references that have been used to write the article. And what I find is that those references tend to be the references that everybody uses, that everybody cites in a particular area of research. So if I want, first of all, a very quick and dirty overview of a particular research area, Wikipedia is going to give me that. It's also going to point me to the most important publications in that area, which is golden. And again, then I'm going to go and find that original research. I can also start by just searching a database. So a database is basically an aggregation of a bunch of different publications that you can very easily search through. Psychology's main database is called PsycInfo, and so that's what's pictured here. And PsycInfo aggregates all of the psychology publications. So you can do a search for research, and what's going to be returned is all psychology-related research. And then from there, that's when you get the original article. And the original article is going to be a little dense. It's going to be tough to read. Hopefully you'll learn how to read effectively this semester even. But it is kind of a slog to deal with the primary literature. And so having a really good idea of what you're getting into by getting that background, getting that sense of what's already been done is going to be helpful. And it's also going to be helpful for generating a very specific hypothesis. So that's what comes next. Once you've got an idea of what's already out there, you can sort of narrow your question down in order to produce a hypothesis, which is a testable prediction. And hypotheses are going to propose some sort of cause and effect relationship. That cause and effect hypothesis requires experimentation in order to evaluate.